On a cold November morning in 1998, a group of children were playing football in an open field in Colombia. One boy tripped and fell hard. He looked down and screamed in absolute terror. What he found wasn't just one body, it was 36 little boys, all brutally tortured. But that was only one field, in one city. The monster behind these killings had been walking freely for over 7 years, smiling at parents, offering candy to their kids with the same hands that tore their lives apart. 193 children never made it home. This is the horrifying true story of Luis Alfredo Garavito, La Bestia, the Beast. If this story already gave you chills, then hit that like button right now and show your support. I read every comment, so drop your answers below. Can childhood trauma turn a normal kid into a real-life monster? How evil do you think this man really became? Do you want me to go even darker in the next part? Comment right now and tell me what you think. Part 1. The Birth of Evil. But what makes this story even more terrifying is that he wasn't born this way. So how does an innocent boy slowly transform into one of the most sadistic killers in history? Luis Garavito was born in 1957 into a violent and broken home. His father was a heavy drinker who beat his wife and children without mercy. Young Luis lived every day in fear. At school, he was constantly bullied because of his glasses. Kids mocked him, calling him Garabato, the scribble. He felt weak. He felt worthless. Then, at just 12 years old, everything inside him shattered. A trusted neighborhood pharmacist took him aside during a vaccination and viciously sexually assaulted him. He bit him, burned him, and cut him during the abuse. That single day completely destroyed Luis Garavito. After that incident, something dark awakened inside him. He started killing small animals. He began touching his younger siblings inappropriately. The pain he suffered, he now wanted to pass on to others. As he grew older, those dark urges became stronger and stronger. He tried to fight them. He drank heavily. He went to church. He tried to live a normal life with girlfriends, but nothing could stop the monster growing inside him. He no longer wanted pleasure. He wanted power. He wanted control. He wanted others to feel the same fear and pain he once felt. And soon, he would completely stop fighting it. What happened when he finally let the beast take over will shock you. Stick till the end to see how his first murder unlocked pure evil. Part 2. The First Kill. By his late 20s, Luis Garavito had become a drifting, angry man. Moving from town to town, unable to control the darkness growing inside him, he tried everything to silence it. He drank more. He prayed more. He even worked normal jobs and dated women, but the urges only got louder. Then, in October 1992, something finally snapped. He was drunk that night, walking near a quiet area in Colombia. A 13-year-old boy named Juan Carlos crossed his path. What happened in the next few hours would change everything. Garavito didn't just attack him. He took his time. He used a knife. He used rope. And when it was over, he looked at what he had done and felt something he had never felt before. Not guilt, not regret, relief. For the first time in his life, the voices in his head went silent. The rage was fed. The monster inside him had finally tasted real blood, and it liked it. That single night unlocked something terrifying. After the first kill, Garavito didn't stop. He started hunting. He learned how to lure boys with small promises of money or candy. He perfected ways to take them to isolated places where no one could hear them scream. And very quickly, one murder was no longer enough. The things he began doing to these boys were becoming more sadistic, more painful, and more twisted with every new victim. He was no longer just a broken man taking revenge on the world. He had become something far worse. But even this was only the beginning of his true horror. The methods he developed next were so cruel that even hardened detectives couldn't believe what they were seeing. And the scariest part, he was just getting started. Part 3. The Devil's Methods. After that first kill, Luis Garavito stopped fighting the monster. He embraced it. He began dressing up in different disguises, sometimes as a priest, sometimes as a street vendor, sometimes as a harmless old man. He knew exactly how to approach the kind of boys no one would miss: poor kids, street sellers, orphans. He would smile warmly, offer them a little money or candy, and speak in a soft voice. The boys trusted him, and that's when the nightmare truly started. Once he had them alone, Garavito didn't rush. He took his time. He used rope. He used blades. He used fire. What he did to these children wasn't just murder. It was slow, calculated, and filled with pure sadism. He wanted them to feel everything. He wanted them broken. He wanted them terrified. With every new victim, his methods grew darker and more twisted. The things he did to their bodies while they were still alive shocked even the most experienced investigators years later. He wasn't killing just to satisfy an urge anymore. He was enjoying the power. He was enjoying their suffering. He was perfecting his craft. And the most terrifying realization, he was getting better at it. But even these horrors were nothing compared to what came next. For over 7 long years, this man moved freely across Colombia like a ghost, leaving behind a trail of unimaginable pain. How did he manage to kill so many without getting caught? The answer will leave you speechless. Part 4. The Monster Walks Free. For more than 7 years, Luis Garavito hunted across Colombia like a shadow. He drifted from city to city, changed his appearance, changed his name. And despite leaving behind dozens of bodies, police had no idea who was doing it. He was hiding in plain sight, right in front of everyone. Parents liked him, kids trusted him. He would laugh, joke, and offer candy with a warm smile, then lead the next boy to hell. By the time authorities finally connected the dots, the horror had already spread across multiple states. Mass graves were being discovered. Entire towns were living in fear. Then in April 1999, Garavito made one mistake. He tried to attack a 12-year-old boy in broad daylight, and this time, someone saw it. When police finally arrested him, no one could believe who they had caught. A short, ordinary-looking man who didn't seem like a killer at all. But when the interrogation began, the truth that came out was worse than anyone imagined. He calmly confessed to destroying 193 lives. He described his crimes in chilling detail, showing zero remorse. He even kept souvenirs and records of many of his victims. The most shocking part? Even after his arrest, Colombia's justice system gave him a sentence of over 1,800 years in prison. But because of their laws, he was expected to walk free after just 22 years. A man who murdered nearly 200 children could have one day returned to society. This man, one of the most evil human beings to ever live, is no longer in this world. But the scars he left behind will never disappear. If this story shook you to the core, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Drop your thoughts below. Was his punishment enough? Which part shocked you the most? Should I cover more monsters like him? The most terrifying truth is monsters like Garavito don't always look like monsters. They smile, they offer candy, and they walk among us. Part 5. The Legacy of the Bees. After 7 years of pure terror, the beast was finally caged. But even behind bars, Luis Alfredo Garavito continued to haunt Colombia. He confessed to 193 murders, the highest confirmed number of any serial killer in history. He described every horrific detail without a single tear, without a flicker of shame. He even drew maps to hidden graves so investigators could recover the remains of his victims. In 2000, a judge sentenced him to over 1,800 years in prison. Yet, Colombia's laws at the time meant he could theoretically walk free after just 22 years. The public outrage was deafening. Parents who lost their children protested in the streets. The justice system eventually adjusted, but the damage was already done. Garavito died on October 19, 2025, in a maximum security prison, alone, sick, and forgotten by the world he once terrorized. He never showed remorse, not once. The most terrifying truth, he looked completely ordinary, a short, polite, smiling man who blended in perfectly. The kind of person you'd let talk to your child, the kind of face you'd never suspect. This is why the story of La Bestia is so important. Monsters don't always wear horns or carry knives in the open. Sometimes they wear warm smiles, offer candy, and speak softly, right up until the moment they strike. 193 innocent boys,